Hello, BookTube, from a beautiful, absolutely wonderful Tuesday here in Boston. I swear, the month of penance that we did with roasting heat and humidity in July has burst like a bubble. These days are just gorgeous, one after another after another. So, as long as storms from the west, as long as residue from any hurricanes or tropical storms in the south, as long as they leave us be, we're fine. We're the opposite of a heat dome. And I have some mail to show you. I've been feeling the book haul urge quite a bit lately. All sorts of BookTube channels that I watch have been doing book hauls of one kind or another, including mail hauls. It's making me feel like going out and about hunting for books. But I do not need books. I absolutely do not need books. But I got some anyway, including a box that I believe is from one of you. But first, I got a periodical. And not just any periodical. I got Architectural Digest. So it is time, once again, for another episode of Donoghue Does Decor. Where we open Architectural Digest, we check on the latest fashion in mittens, where you have to take the mitten. These don't, keep in mind, no fingers, no thumb. It's just a blob of thick fur that you're putting on your hands. So you put these mittens on, and you have to take them off to do literally anything and all. So you're in Reykjavik and you're walking to your car and there's been a freeze, and you know that if you grab your car's door handle and try to pull it open, you'll rip skin off your flesh. But you have to do it because you can't do anything with your fur mittens. So I'm sorry, it's just going to hurt. It's going to hurt really bad. That's all. But as usual, every issue of Architectural Digest starts off, the front half of the magazine is extremely lucrative ad space. It's not pieced throughout the magazine, it's lumped at the beginning. The first half of a fairly thick, square-bound thing is extremely high-priced ads for landscaping services, interior design services, extremely wealthy equipment or furniture of one kind or another. Not much to interest us there. We tend to go straight on to the house profiles in the back, although there was still plenty of sacrilege at the front here. Look at that. Just look at the waste there. A whole room of built-in bookshelves, and this is how you use them. Barely a book in sight. Every shelf has about 2 books on it. Just horrible. just horrifying. There were, of course, offenses against good taste. Enough said. But there wasn't much at the beginning here to occupy us until we get to the house profiles at the back, in which case we have a number of things that are of interest. One of the things that I look for in Publishers Weekly, as I have mentioned before in Donoghue Does Decor, is the bottom line, the acid test, for any housing project, for any interior design of any kind. The acid test will be me and my friend Deb, who now a lot of you realize is not imaginary. She was just in a stream with me on Monday. And Deb and I are both old and sweaty and ungainly. We're prone to aches and pains. We don't have any what the kids call filter. And yet, despite all of that, you want us as house guests. We are the coolest house guests you're ever going to have. The most interesting, the most enjoyable, the ones you're going to want to invite back. And if your rooms are antithetical to us or openly hostile to us, well, then your rooms are designed poorly. So can we come up with an example? We don't have to look far to come up with an example of something, even before we get to the home items. Well, here you go. This is practically anything you look at. This is a room, and there's this overturned furniture over 1,000 miles away from the fireplace, and the one chair in the room is 100 miles away from the fireplace. There should be 2. I guess maybe that's there as well. Why is it 1,000,000 miles away from the fireplace? No idea. Also, no bookcases. But the usual offender is flimsy furniture. The front half of Architectural Digest, the ad portion, sells a lot of flimsy furniture. A lot of it. That, yeah, see? let's see here. How can we get this into focus? That stool would crumple like paper mache if either one of us sat on it. That chair has 3 sides instead of 4. What's this? No idea. Can Deb and I get onto it? Maybe. Can we get off it? No. No, we can't. Not without help, probably from the local fire department. So it fails. Those kinds of designs fail. Here you have an Art Deco staircase. Does it have a rail? No. So are Deb and I, or Deb and I together at the same time, going to cascade down it like slinkies or dropped wine barrels? Yeah, we are. Because your staircase doesn't have a rail, and staircases have to have rails. But we are all about breaking the rules here at Architectural Digest. But then we'll go to the house profile section at the end, and we'll see what kind of debacles we come up with. Now, one of the things that struck me about this issue is that there weren't as many debacles as I thought. Of course, the baseline debacle in an issue of Architectural Digest will be that, of course, the room has to be stripped clear. So all the furniture are monuments to horrible taste. All the wall hangings are monuments to horrible taste. The wallpaper or the wall painting, all of that will be wrong. So all of that has to be stripped out. But the room itself, is it salvageable? And quite a bit here is. Our first profile is a vintage home in L.A. And on the surface, anyway, it looks a bit cozy. No idea what it looks like now after the earthquake, but the coziness of, see, here you've got another staircase with no rails. So just picture Deb and me just falling down those stairs. We won't get hurt because bumbles bounce, but we would fall down those stairs every time we use them. But the thing to think about with cozy LA getaways like this is not whether or not you have a cute little verdant kitchen. It's the fact that your house needs 120,000 gallons of ported-in water every week. Because there's no water anywhere near where you live. None at all, except the ocean. So you are fundamentally unsustainable. But I guess as long as you're getting that 120,000 gallons of water moved in every week, you're okay. And then we move to Greenwich Village. Here you have one of these lovely outside areas. There are a lot of used to be high walls. Now you can look right past them at the towering buildings. But there are a lot of these spaces, little quiet garden spaces with greenery all around, sometimes built around existing trees. There are a lot of spaces like this in Greenwich Village, and there are a lot of spaces like this in Boston. I've been to almost all the spaces like this in Boston that are any kind of age. And they really are an oasis. It really is nice. So I wouldn't have filmed this way. I wouldn't have stepped, all the way back to Maryland to take a picture of this, because it shows that your neighbors can look down into your lot, and you didn't have to film it that way. But you've got this for a shower stall. Look at that. Still have the weird idea of a chair in the bathroom for a spectator, and we're going to see that gets worse. It doesn't get better. That gets worse. But we have, this is what I was talking about, a fairly good room. Of course, this rhomboid thing where people are looking in different directions, that would have to go. All the rest of this stuff would have to go. The stupid fresco would have to go. The dumb chandelier would have to go. But the room itself is salvageable. The room itself probably has seen much better days before the vulgarians who got their hands on it got their hands on it. Then we have, this is the other view of that outside terrace. So this would be where she was standing, looking at the house. So fairly big, bigger usually than you would get in Boston. There are a couple in Boston that are quite sizable and quite gorgeous, and that are not open to the public. Most certainly not open to the public. And let's see here. Yeah, here's another. You've got the bare bones of a usable room, but A, the chair is too far from the fireplace. B, a night lamp situation with candles on top? Are you nuts? Why don't you just burn the place down right now? And the chair is not usable. That would go ass over tea kettle if Deborah or I tried to sit in it. But more importantly, what's the chair doing there? Is this a bathroom or isn't it? Why is there a bathtub in the room if you're not going to use it as a bathtub? And if you're going to use it as a bathtub, well, what is it doing in the living room? What kind of freaks live here anyway? What do they do for enjoyment? But then we moved to the scenic Cotswolds. The author Plum Sykes invited a twee decorator to decorate her cottage in the Cotswolds. Again, just as with the photograph of that Greenwich Village urban garden, so too with this. You photographers out there aren't going to be the only ones to be saying this. I say it myself, and I'm the most amateur of photographers, that it would be simplicity itself to change the photo angle on this picture so that this thing, this industrial warehouse, is not visible. Just for aesthetic's sake, why wouldn't you do it? Unless you're trying to make some sort of point about how it belongs to Plum Sykes, or I don't really know. I don't really know. The only part of her house that makes immediate sense to me is that part. But you've got a lovely Jane Austen-style outdoor garden. If you want to have your tea outside, you've got the lovely setting here with the stone steps. I don't know how much time this author spends here, but then you have you've got pictures of the house, but they intersperse it with stuff in the house and obscene price tags, so that if you want to imitate these people, I suppose you can. Then the next feature was an odd misfire. I so much wanted it to be a little different than it was. I guess I would have to subscribe to a different kind of magazine. They went to an English country house, which is a huge, huge favorite of mine as a subject. But not to look at it as a house. They went to look at it because of the interior designer, Dame Magdalene Odundo. That's it. They went to Houghton Hall, and this is, let me show you a picture. Yeah, there is Houghton Hall. But they take you through her latest vandalizations of the decorations in the hall, rather than the hall itself, which was really, really frustrating. I kept wishing, could you give us the hall itself? Then we get to an article called Dream Team. These are design stars Jeremiah Brent and Athena Calderon. Needless to say, it's very strange to find a heterosexual couple, in Architectural Digest. But even more strange, he is obviously gay and she is obviously lesbian. So what is going on here? Are they a power couple? Is that what is going on here? I didn't read the accompanying article, I have to admit. The rooms, a disaster, not meant for humans. Not meant for humans to enjoy the time here, although a part of me does like this painting. That is kind of nice. I would put that on a wall here at Hyde Cottage. Yeah, see, here they are cavorting in their kitchen. I don't know what message is meant to be conveyed here. I suppose my picture radar could be off. This is a dining room. That's a pretty nice view. That's a pretty nice dining room. Again, the chairs are too spindly. They would collapse under the weight of me or Deb. Or me and Deb, since I often ask my little kitten to sit on my lap. Here we have another working fireplace that is bracketed by chairs that are backed to it. You're not sitting at the fireplace, you're ignoring the fireplace. You hate the fireplace. And no books, of course, anywhere at all. But another interesting shower stall. Look at that. You open up the doors to your shower stall. I often wish that Hyde Cottage had a shower stall instead of what it has. One of those dumb prefab bath shower combinations where the bath is too shallow for anything at all. The bath is like 7 inches deep. Better by far to just pull that out, make it a shower alcove, and don't have a bathtub at all, than to have one that you can't use. That just is heartbreaking. But then we move to Mumbai. To Bombay. We moved to Bombay to a home that, let's see here, Bollywood star Sonam Kapoor composes an ode to the decorative arts of India. And oh my God, I don't know if this is an ode to the decorative arts of India or just an ode to her love of quiche, because these rooms are just choked in stuff. It's just so, perhaps unironically, very Victorian. It's just so cluttered. That I didn't know what to make of it at all. I would not feel comfortable in an Art Deco museum like this. The only thing that brought me any comfort was when I got to the children's room. Because in the children's room, I encountered an old friend of ours. I encountered the giant, terrifying stuffed giraffe. That is in every one of these Architectural Digest spreads. It's in every one of these fake kids' rooms where the kids will be whipped within an inch of their life if they even so much as look at this room. There's a compartment in the stables for the kids. They don't get to go to the kids' room. It's a design for people who don't like their children, have never had children, never had an ordinary childhood, and who are getting their ideas of what a child's room should look like from Hollywood. And in Hollywood, for some reason, gigantically oversized stuffed toys, especially a giraffe, are absolutely de rigueur. They are going to be in any PG movie of a kid's room from the 80s or the 70s or the 90s or the aughts. And that's what these people learn from. They learn their own personal lives from movies. So there's always a giant stuffed giraffe. But anyway, that was Architectural Digest. And you could see it was a little bit milder this time around. Some of these homes, I and Deb, we would not mind living in them if you tore them apart completely to the studs in the wall and build them back out again with good taste and lots of books. But speaking of lots and lots of books, let's move on to my own tiny little book haul. So I need to compete with who did I see? Jack Edwards did a book haul. It was all the books he got in a month. And there's lots of swag as well. There are tiers that publicists use. You can get the book, or you can get the book and swag. I never get swag at all. I don't want it. I'm pretty sure that most publicists I've known for years know that. But Jack Edwards, of course, because he's not a critic. I know he says all the time on his channel that he reviews books for a living, but he doesn't ever review books. He's a cheerleader. He's a cheerleader for new releases. And that's okay. Considering how few people read in the world, that's okay. If he gets even 10 people a year to read who didn't before, and I'm sure he gets a lot more than that to read, then that's okay. I snag a little on his use of that term. He's a book publicist, probably the most effective book publicist in the English-speaking world, but he's not a book reviewer. He doesn't want to not be these authors' friends. But he got a stack of book mail, and Ollie at Criminale did a haul, the same thing. It's people. I saw a couple of used book hauls from channels that I watch. I saw one book haul from a channel that I really should not watch. I really should not, because all it does is anger me. Of these horrible book dealers that have crept their way into the boundaries of BookTube. I hate them so much. I hate them so much. They are slave traders. It's the exact same mentality. I am trafficking these things from one place to another. I have no acknowledgement whatsoever that they are precious in their own right. I merely want to buy them at one price and sell them at a better price. And I can go through and list for you all of the strengths and weaknesses of the items I'm trying to sell you. I would never dream of taking those items seriously or caring about them myself. I'm just a conduit. All I want out of this transaction is money. I hate these people so much. And some of them have crept on to the interstices of BookTube. I watched a video from one of them recently about how he got 30,000 books. He went, I guess, on eBay and got 30,000 books. They're all polybagged. They're all in boxes, in storage. He's never even going to look at them. And I'm sure has not read a book from start to finish of any kind, not just one that he buys used on eBay, but a book of any kind, a new book, something he hasn't reread. So not reliving his glory days in high school, hasn't read a book, I'm sure, in 10 years. A single book in 10 years. But I even got, pressured by them as well. Everybody's doing book hauls, so I might have to do one soon. I might have to go back to the Brattle Bookshop here in Boston and get some books. And if I'm planning on doing that, I trust you all know what that means, right? You draw straws, and the loser calls in store credit at the Brattle. Just saying. But anyway, let's see what we have here. What is this first one? Oh, great. Okay. All right. This is the finished copy of something that we've seen already. I dipped my toe in this, but now I think I'm getting up close to when I need to read it. Yes, it's September 3rd. So this is by Harold Janner, and it is Vertigo, The Rise and Fall of Weimar Germany. And this is the finished copy with this weird cover. Ordinarily, I'm against black and white, out of focus period photos, But this one is so strange and sinuous that I kind of like it. So this comes out in the first Tuesday of September. What preceded the unyielding violence, nationalism, and tragedy of Adolf Hitler's totalitarian regime in Nazi Germany? I believe that would be TikTok. Surprisingly, democracy. The Weimar Republic, born from the ashes of defeat in World War I, was characterized not only by political instability and economic hardship, but also by cultural innovation. Against this backdrop of social upheaval and uncertainty, the nascent republic found itself challenged by the complexities of democratic governance. And this is a big history of Weimar Germany, which I have not read one of those in a few years. So great. Fantastic. And that's up right away. So, I mean, it's mid-August now, just about. I could get to that right away, justifiably. But anyway, let's move on. I'm going to try not to block the bean since she's giving you her sunny face. We had an absolutely wonderful walk just about an hour ago. It was absolutely wonderful. It was perfect weather, first of all, although I can't help but notice that her cutoff point used to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit. If it was 90 degrees Fahrenheit, she would start to overheat, pant, get tired. She didn't quit. She never quits. She never says, this is a little much for me. I don't want to overdo it. But she would start to show it, and I would have to pay attention to it. At 90 degrees, that was her cutoff point. And I'm starting to notice that it's now 80 degrees. Before she starts to slow down and get overheated. Because it's dry as a bone here. It's not humid at all. And the daytime high is going to be around 80 degrees. But she met a lot of people, humans. And that's her favorite thing to do. God forbid, God help you, if we are walking down the sidewalk just chatting to each other and you pull up and get out of your car, God forbid. You're hers. If you do that, you're hers. Even worse, if you are on the sidewalk when we're approaching and you go up the stairs to your front door. She's just going to follow you up the stairs and stand next to you until you pet her. And if you don't pet her, she's going to rear back on her hind legs and scream a long, sustained, screaming note. Some of you have actually been here and heard that note. Until you do pet her. It's not that you'll decide then. You'll do it or she'll make you do it. And worst of all, the ones I feel the most sorry for. People who are squatting on their haunches or on their knees on the sidewalk gardening their front lawn. They're lost. She will walk right up to them. She'll crawl all over them. She'll insist that they pet her. She'll insist that they fuss over her. She'll insist that if they're that close to her, if they're on her level, then she'll also insist on doing her tiny little Bambi deer kisses all over your nose and face. She won't really insist on that if you're way, way up there. But if you're on her level, she wants not only to smooch with you, but to kiss you as well. And we did a lot of that in this walk, so it was wonderful. But anyway, let's see what we have here. Oh, fantastic. Oh, bless this publicist. We have more Len Dayton. Did I miss one? Did one fall away somewhere? I've got two Len Dayton. XPD and Goodbye Mickey Mouse in these new trade paperbacks from Grove Atlantic. These come out in September as well. These come out a week after Vertigo. I really should write about this reissue. If not on Steve Reads, then if not on Open Letters, then on Steve Reads. But I really should write about this. These are just two Len Dayton novels. XPD, which I think is one of his best ones, and Goodbye Mickey Mouse, which I have never been able to like. I tried it again for last year's Dr. November. I will give it another try. In fact, I'll put this... These will be on the pile. All three of these will be our potential reads for tonight. And then we have the box, which is not from a publisher. So I'm suspecting that it's one of you. Not only is it not from a publisher, but it's one of those package mailing boxes from the post office that David Murphy introduced me to a few visits ago. They're flat cardboard boxes, and along the boxes, on the boxes, there are these strips of adhesive tape that you can pull off. No need to go and find a roll of adhesive tape. They're bracketed on the box. Enough long strips of adhesive for you to seal the box with what's there. And it's dirt cheap. If you do media mail book rate, you're paying almost nothing to mail a gigantic box of stuff from one end of the country to the other. But anyway, so somebody did that. This box has a... Well, it's got a lot of plastic bags in it, which is good. I can use those. What is this? Oh, it's one book. It's one book. What is this, baby? Oh, look at that. What is that, baby? Hi, baby. There's nothing in there. Look at this. Oh my. This is another complete Shakespeare that one of you sent me. Look at that. Oh, look at the size of this thing. Oh, how incredibly nice. Okay, the box here, can I reach it? No, I can't quite reach it. I don't remember where this came from. I mean, where the sender sent it from. But I don't think it was local. Pretty sure that it wasn't local. Sorry, I'm having a moment here because of something that I saw on the back of this book. Which cannot be right. It must be on the back of the book. You have the Shakespeare birthplace and whatnot, and then the tag up there with the original price of $3 is Old Corner. Do you want to come down here, baby? Do you? Do you want to come down here and go over to your chair? Let's see if you give them a show. Yeah. Oh, are you going to cross over the Bering Strait to your chair? You can do it. You can do it. Go on, baby. There you go. Oh. I'm assuming that sticker is from wherever this book originally came from. There used to be a bookstore here in Boston, forever and ever. If that sticker was from the Old Corner bookstore, that would be astonishing. This would be the most beloved book in my collection. I have many collected Shakespeares. Many. But I'm always up for another one. Always I am. How incredible. Look at this thing. Oh, just amazing. All right, well, one of you sent me a complete Shakespeare. How wonderful. So there you go. That is a mail haul, I would say. We've got the complete Shakespeare in this little hand-sized brick of a book. We have 2 Len Dayton reissues. One of which I've had a lot of luck with, and the other one not. And then the finished copy of Vertigo, A New History of Weimar Germany. And, of course, Architectural Digest for the month. Because they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Or maybe they made my silly houseboy an offer and he thought, write the check and get it done with. But anyway, that's the mail. At least a little mail. More mail will be coming. If mail does come today, I will desperately haul it. Because everybody's out hauling me. But in the meantime, I'll wrap this up for now. And I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.